All right, hi everybody. Hope you're all doing fine. So, week 7, what we're going to do today is look at compiling all of we learned in all the past week, the 6 weeks, and build a simple 10-second film. Okay, so I'll show you how to build everything we've learned, take everything we've learned and combine it all into one. We've learned the sequencer before that. We've learned the props. For the props, I'll be using simple props. I'll show you how to work with simple props in Unreal and Maya. You don't need to always do the animated prop that we did. I'll be using the same environment. I'll be stitching a couple of maybe 1 or 2 animations. And I'll show you how I found out a quick way how to, instead of doing the skin cluster thing that we did in week 2, I'll show you, I found a little trick. If you create a group and you export the group as the root node, it works fine. So you don't need to add another bone and redo the skin clusters. All right, so I want to go over how important it is, the folder structure. Please be very organized, because when you start building your film or previs in a couple of weeks, you need to be organized. So I'm going to show you a couple more tricks. So far I've been working on C drive. I'm going to move everything to D, and I'll show you how to do it from Maya. The reason is, for the last few weeks, a lot of you in the class have been having trouble on C. C is usually where all the program files are kept, all the videos, all the temp files are kept on C. So until IT cleans up the PCs, we should be working on D. Anyways, it's much better to work on D. I forgot to tell you that in the beginning of the class. So I'll just show you quickly how to move everything properly to D. So even you can use this method to send your stuff home, and then if you're working at it at home, send it back to the class. So usually Maya files, you know, you have your mesh and you have the textures. So if you want to create like a kind of a one file with all these pieces together, you can either export as an FBX with embed media, or you could do this file, archive, scene, click on options. Make sure you have this on, because if you don't have it, it will not include all the textures. And just click archive and close. Okay. Yeah, because I already did it once, it just asked me, do you want to save the scene again? I'll just click yes. I think it created it anyway. Okay, so if you look in here at the bottom, it just took a while because of the textures. So if you look at the bottom, it will show you where it exported. It basically exported the zip file where the this Maya scene is saved. Okay, so you're gonna get a zip file in here. Okay, so I'm gonna start moving this to D. I'm gonna copy this folder. My setup is a little bit different. B is actually C for you, and C is D for you. So I'm just gonna copy it to D, and I'm gonna put, excuse me, as you can see, yeah, this is my mobile drive, the portable drive. Am I in the right place? No, sorry, I apologize. So C is C for you, the same thing, and B should be D for you. Okay, so I apologize. So if you want to know for sure, when you go in C, you will see two folders called program files. So this is C where all the programs are installed. So you don't want to be working from this because probably C is the one that's full and causing everybody problems. So I'll set it up here. I'm going to create a new folder. Let's say Unreal class fall 21. Okay. And I'm going to create a folder called Maya assets. And in here, I'm going to create environment. I'm going to copy the zip file and just unzip it. Extract to this. It will create a folder with the same name. And in here, it will give me the Maya file with the textures probably somewhere. Let's see. It's probably in downloads because it's the textures we're still referencing to here. Okay. So so that's how you archive. So you can actually send the zip file to the cloud and work from it there. Sorry, not work from it. Download it at home. Work on it when you want to send it to school, to the class. You can just do the same thing. Archive it, file archive, and then send it over to the cloud and download it in class. It's honestly the best way to work if you know, even if you have a portable drive, you can just put it on the portable drive. So now if I open up this one, technically, because I want to start working from D, I want to stop working from C. There we go. So now I'm working from B. See, B, Unreal Class, blah, blah, blah. Good. So that's step one. Please move your stuff to D. I'm going to be merging. Okay, so before we start, I'll save my scene. Same place in B. Probably, let's say, F21 Maya assets. I'll call this anims. And I'll call this week 7, okay? Because I'm going to create a small sequence, okay? Use incremental just in case things go, if you want to save incremental, it's a good idea. And what I want to do for now, I'm gonna, if you remember the little animation I did a while ago with the sword. So my idea, I'll give you the pitch, the quick pitch. So I'm gonna be creating a new character called With the Knight from Mixamo. I'm gonna have him here practice, let's say do some training with the sword. And then I'm gonna use the ninja to bring him into the scene, okay, through a portal or something like that, like over here. So I'll probably set up the knight here as he's training and then bring in the ninja. So this is like 2 characters with cameras and everything, okay? All right, so I'm gonna freeze the environment. It should be already frozen. I don't know why. Oh, okay. So I'll just select everything. Add selected objects. Now should be non-set VPR. Okay. You can call this environment. So I'll merge my Ninja now just to set it up. You can just drag and drop it. I'm gonna probably go back to C because that's where I saved it. I believe it was on the desktop. Doesn't names. I believe it was week 5. Let's try that. Okay. It's probably gonna merge in the everything, the controller, the animation on the sword, everything's there. There we go. All right, so so we have one character merged. Let's save this scene. We're still in B. And I'm gonna go to Mixamo and download another character just to show you. The trick of the group node. So characters, I believe it was Knight. No, I forgot what his name was. I think he's on the last page. Let's see. Oh, he's right there. Okay, yeah, probably because I saved him yesterday. All right, so I'll download this. And I'm gonna create a new scene because I need to set up the character, right? The usual. We set up the characters separately, right? So we don't keep working with the same files just in case something goes wrong with that file, then we're gonna be sad after that because we're gonna lose a lot of work. Okay, so let's check the textures. Textures are there. So for my, let's say you merge in this character, but you don't want the sword or the shield. So you can just, right now the sword and the shield are skinned to the bones. So if you look in the hierarchy here, so yeah, I'm just gonna go wireframe. You're gonna see this bone here. Where is it? Actually, the shield is a little bit easier. So you see this bone? This is the shield bone. Actually, hold on. This is the shield bone. Okay. So if you move this bone, the shield moves with it. So because the way they did it is instead of creating the shield as a prop and parent constraining it to the bone, they created it as a skin, which is okay, but for games or cinematic pipeline, usually this is not good. You need to create like an actual prop, so they're separate. They're not skinned to the guy. So I'm just going to delete the shield and the sword. We don't need them, and I don't delete any of the bones. It's just the skin, because if we delete some of the bones, then we cannot import stuff from Mixamo. Okay. So my little trick is if you select the hips and you go Control G, which is group, we just create a node on top of it. It's normal grouping. Okay, so this is my little trick. So all you need to do now is name it root and apply namespace, right? Select hierarchy, Windows, general editors, namespace editor, new. I'm gonna call this guy, let's say night, and add to selected. That's all you need to do. Okay. And now we can create a control rig, because if you need to animate this guy, you can have a control rig. So let's save this before we do some mistakes. So again, so animations, this is where you compile all the mocap, the cameras, everything to export to Unreal. Environment, and now we're going to create a characters folder. It's the same setup. Please be organized, because otherwise you're gonna lose yourself with all these files. Okay, so night. So we're ready to create the HIK, the human control rig. Human IK, create character definition, select one bone, and then open the template files. And all you need to do, keep everything by default, just use the first option. Because we put namespace on all the bones, you can use the first option and just tell it, okay, use everything with that namespace. Bingo. So now with that root selected, I'm just going to assign the reference node to it. And we're ready to rock and roll. So if we switch to control rig, there we go. We have a control rig now. He's ready to be animated. We can test this super quick. I'm going to save this scene. So I might as well export this to Unreal. Actually, before we do that, I want to show you how to move Unreal as well. So if we go to Unreal, okay. I'll open Unreal Library, launch. So if we go to where we've been saving the file for the last while, which is Dawson, Unreal, week 2. So this is our project, right? This is the project I've been working on week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. So what you can do, it's the same idea. You just zip the folder. I already have one here. So this is the folder we're working on. You just right click, right? See, this is C, and it shouldn't be working from C anymore. I go right click on the folder, add to archive. I just choose, if you have WinRAR, you could just WinRAR it or zip it. It's the same. And then let's zip. And then we can move this, copy, into B, Unreal Class 21. In here, I'll put it in the root folder of the folder of this. I'll just create Unreal. So now I know Maya Assets is in Maya Assets and the Unreal project is in Unreal. And then unzip, extract. So now all I have to do is tell Unreal to open this file. So what I do is I copy this path. So obviously, if you have the zip file, you can send it to the cloud, same thing, and come back on the lab and download it and unzip it. Same process. So I go to Open Unreal, and I go Open Project. Oops, I chose the wrong one. Okay, it's probably going to take a while. I wonder if I can kill it. Okay, so I'll just close. Wait for the launcher. So I can probably just double click on it because the file is associated, but I'll show you how to open it anyway. So library, launch, please make sure you install 4.26. Don't go before or after because you might get some bugs that I cannot help you with. So the button we need is more, and then browse. It's a little hidden, sorry about that. So browse, and then we paste the folder path. So now we are in B, and then we just double click on this. I'll leave it running, and I'll show you a small little trick here. Okay, I'm just gonna open the island, or maybe one of the levels, which is, I believe, was week 4. Let me see. Yeah, it was week 4. Or we could just load in the floating island. And I'll open it. I'll open this one because it was already set up with a couple of lights. I don't want to redo the lights and bake the lights and everything like that. I'll just switch to one viewport for now, and I'll show you how to switch it back when you're working with the cameras. Okay, so we can export this guy, but before I want to show you if you need to scale up or down this character, how to do that properly in Maya, because it's not, I experimented a little bit. If we scale this guy, the root, up and down like this, actually we can't scale it right now because the control rig is taking over, okay? So we need to delete the control rig, enable to scale, okay? So please do not scale it like this, because what happens is the scaling affects the animation, okay? So once you start importing stuff from XAML, it will scale it back and possibly creating sliding feet. That's why I noticed a couple of weeks ago, some of you have sliding feet in the animations. That's why, because I probably by mistake told you to scale the root, which is a really bad idea. You shouldn't be scaling it. What we should be doing is doing a scale constraint, okay? So how do we do this? We make the first we select the root, which is the parent, and then the child, and then we go to, I believe, we need to switch to animation. And do a scale constraint. Where is it? Constraint, oops. Right here, options. Keep everything by default, it's okay. So now if you can see, it added a scale constraint. So now if you can scale, and it won't kill any of the animations that are coming in. So let's test it out. So let's say I scale him to 1.5, 1.4, and I'm gonna add him in the time slider. Add, and then I'm gonna try to bring in an animation. Okay, so let's say sword something, sword idle, or actually let's sword slash, because we need something with movement. Okay. So let's try this one. Yeah, this one. So remember, this guy is still at scale 1. So let's see when we import this. I think I downloaded it with the skin. We don't need the skin. Let's download it without. All right, so now if we bring it in, yes. We don't need the T-pose. So what happens now? See, there's no feet sliding. Why? Because we scaled it properly. We scaled it with a scale constraint. So if you need to scale them up a little bit or down a little bit, please add a scale constraint. Okay. So the reason he's not going back is because we need to go into the stance. Okay. So I'm gonna remove the scale because, as you can see, we did some funky stuff. So I'll just remove the scale for now, because depends how they skin it. Oh, one. Why did it scale like this? It's weird. Root. Okay. Strange. Maybe when we remove the track. Okay, I'll reopen it just to not have this artifact. Okay, so where were we? We were in control rig. It's okay. Anyways, you know how to scale. Let's just move on. So if you need to scale, please follow add the scale constraint. Okay, there's still a few things I need to show you before in the 1 hour video. Okay, so this guy is ready for exporting to Unreal. So let's export him. Export all. Then we go to B, Maya assets. So we can name him Night to Unreal. It's fine. Geometry smoothing groups on. You don't need animation for now, so we can export this guy as is. It's always a good idea to test this guy before. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm creating another folder here for the night. Oops. Create another folder, night. Excuse me. F2, night. Let's bring him in. My assets, characters, Unreal 2. Remember this little option? So if we go restore, and then it's going to probably open up like this. Keep everything by default except this one. If you open up this, you need to select use T0 as ref pose. This will actually take the T pose as reference in Unreal, so you need to do that. As it's importing, we can prepare a small animation to test. Just open them up to get the shaders going. See, root, hips. It's the same setup we did on it's the same setup we did with the root bone, so you don't need to add the root bone anymore. I still would like to do a small test of animation with this guy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the time editor. Where's my time editor? That's strange. Switch to classic, switch back to animation. And my time editor is gone. Doesn't matter. Animation, time editor. Now it's back. Make sure you are on skeleton, please. And just add, select the root bone, add, and then we can just drag in the same sword slash we downloaded. Okay. So we have 85 frames. Okay, we select the bones. I believe you don't need to select all the children. So let's try it. Export selection. BX. We're still in B. Let's name it night slash test. Make sure we have animation this time. Bake for sure. And we check the Z axis. Yeah, it's all good. Export. So now we can import that animation, which should be my assets NMs slash test. Of course, we need to assign it to the night. Keep everything by default and click import. Now, there we go. He's animating just like in there. Okay, so I have my my character, right? So now we can import this guy into our previous scene. Okay, so I'm gonna open back my scene, which was week 7, my name. And I'm gonna import. Actually, is he still, did we bake the Ninja? Because if we didn't, yeah, he's already baked. Yeah, so we don't need this track anymore. Now we can, don't worry too much about the Ninja animation. We're gonna offset him first, because we're gonna be, the camera is gonna be focusing on the night first. Okay, so we can offset the Ninja's animation afterwards. All right, so let's bring in Mr. Knight. Right, go in characters, because that's where he is. Bring in the Knight. The Maya file, right? Don't bring in the FBX because you won't see, you won't have the control rig or anything like that. So there we go. This is the Knight. So is this guy. By the way, every time you import, you're gonna get the file name as well. It's fine for now, but if you want to clean it up, you can always clean it up here in the Windows. General editors, namespace. So you could just clean it up. You can just remove Knight. You can just get rid of this. You can get rid of this to Ninja Katana. Right, so it's a little bit cleaner. Okay, so we have the Knight. It doesn't update. Update here. Maybe I'm missing one. That doesn't matter. Okay, so we want to start putting some animations on the Knight. So just make sure you're in none on the Knight. Okay. Where is he? Where's the bones? This is the bones. All right, so we add the bone. We add the track. We don't need this. So I want him to, maybe instead of just attacking right away and start training, maybe we'll do like a little idle so we can sword, maybe let's try sword idle. Let's see where we go, let's see what's fitting here. That's not bad. It's too subtle. I think these are female, yeah. Let's see if we find. Yeah, this one's not bad, but it's a different pose. Let's see, this one wasn't that bad, this one. Because he's standing, we want him to be roughly in the same pose. Okay, let's download this without skin. All right, so we'll drag this one in. Where did it go? All right, so where were we? We added the night, and then we're gonna drag and drop the idle. So we have two characters now. We need to assign it to the night properly. So this character is called, he has namespace of night. Night, there's two namespace, which is fine. So now he's animating. What I'm gonna do, I think I'll make him go this way a little bit so that the ninja appears behind his back. It's okay, it's gonna be really short and not amazing, but at least you guys will know how to build something, you know, something short with more than two characters with all the pieces together. Okay, so I'm gonna move the locator. Right now it's in local space. I don't want to move it in local space, so if you hold down W, you can switch to world, and then you can move the knight to where he's supposed to be. So let's say he's here. We can rotate it. Just make sure rotation it's in world as well. Yep. So you double click on it, you will see which axis, and then we can just rotate. So now we can see the. Oh yeah, okay. So minus 50, minus 16, and 90 should be minus 105. Let's try 105. It's still off. It's fine. I'll eyeball it. Okay, so he's doing a little idle, looking around. Then we can add the sword slash, right? Not ninja, night. It's probably gonna jump. Yeah, he's gonna jump to the origin, because that's where the animation was created probably and exported. There we go. So we're gonna move this guy too. So I'll enable ghost on the previous clip so we see where the last frame is. And we'll create another locator here for this one. And just move him in the world to match that same position. I think we can create, maybe not, select locator, relocate, select. So maybe we can copy paste the same rotations on this one. Select locator, maybe, let's try. Yeah, not bad. Move, put him back roughly where the skeleton, the last frame of this joint is. Let's see if he, oh, he pops way too much back. So it's going to be roughly somewhere here. I think that's better. So pops to the side a little bit, so we can just nudge him over to the left. Or we can just do this. All right. So you're gonna be asking yourself, what is he slashing here? So my next tip is how to work with props without creating a rig for the props. Okay. So idle slash 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 slash. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna bring in a sword, and since we're not animating that sword, it's a little dark. I'm just gonna switch to shaded, not textured. I'm gonna bring in a sword and just attach it to his hand, okay, just to get the feeling where the, and I'm gonna do the same thing in Unreal, but that sword, we will export it as a static mesh. So how do we do this? Let's save the scene and go on Sketchfab. And I will look for sword and download something cool. Okay, so this one doesn't look that bad. Could fit the model, right? Try to make it fit the model as much as possible. Okay. So I'll download this. It's an OBJ download. It's fine. I will go to my download folder. So Sword of Artorios. I'll copy this, and where should I put it? I'll put it in my assets. I'll start creating a prop folder, props, and I'll just open this up. Yep, it's fine. So we have an OBJ, okay? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up the, I'm gonna save, okay? I'll open up, because we want to save the sword as a separate mesh as well and export it to Unreal, we're gonna create it in a separate scene. Okay, so first off the bat, I try to put on the textures, but nothing is showing up. I'm sure a lot of you have encountered this problem. So what do we do? And the second thing is this sword has a weird pivot and weird positioning in the world. So it's always a good idea, Z up as well, to make your props like flush on the grid, you know, like we created the sword. So even though you're not rigging it, it's always a good idea to kind of make it, make the setup clean in Maya, because this way when you import it, it will be at 0, 0, and you don't have to worry about rotations or anything like that. Okay, so it's not bad, it's pretty centered. But the problem is now we applied some values here we need to zero out. So how do we do this? We go to Modify, Freeze Transformation, click on Options, make sure Translation Rotation Scale is on. So freeze transformation, and now everything is at 0, 0. Also, I would like to change the pivot. The pivot is in a little weird place. So what do? Go Modify, Center Pivot, and then if I press D, I can actually put the pivot in the handle where it should be. Because you don't want to, if you have to animate if you have to animate the pivot or the sword, it's always better to have the proper pivot point. Okay. I'll just do another freeze just in case. I'm not sure if we have to do this after pivot changes, but let's do it anyway. So now we can apply the shaders in the hypershade. Okay. I'll just save this. Sword of, I'll just call it sword. I don't need the full name. We go in hypershade. Just put it aside a little bit so we can see our sword. So as you can see, there's nothing assigned. For some reason, it doesn't show up at all. So we're gonna have to create a new shader, and all those textures you see, we can just drag and drop them into the hypershade. So what do we have? We have the color, which is this. Maybe we can move it to. So we can assign the color. So if we want to assign it to the object, just right click, assign material to, at least there's UV maps so they show up properly. Let's try the couple of the other ones, maybe normal map. Yeah, can apply normal map. Which is this. Might as well try. Not a big material guy, but let's try it. I think those you can get by with those. I'm not sure about the other ones where they go. You might need a different sorry, a different material than blend. Anyways, okay, so now we have the texture. Okay, let's save it. So we need to, before we export it, let's merge it in with the night to have the proper scale, right? Because if we keep going like this, we're probably off scale. So let's bring in the night. Characters, so just drag and drop. So as you can see, it's a needle. So we need to scale this guy, and we might as well scale it and put it properly in his hand to have the proper scale. I might have went a little bit too far. Maybe let's try 6. It's a little big, but we can probably go 5. Okay. That feels all right. Okay. So now we can get rid of the night. We have what we need for the scale. We just need to put him back to 0, 0. But now what do we need to do? We need to freeze the transformation again. Okay. Because we have a scale of 5, so we need to freeze the transformation. All right, now we're ready to export this to Unreal. Let's export that. and then bring it into our scene. Props, sword to Unreal. No animation, smoothing groups, export. So let's see if our it should have worked. But we need to test it anyway. So folder sword, and we bring in the prop. Sword to Unreal FBX. So as you can see, the options here are different because we're not importing a skeletal mesh. We're not importing skin with bones on it, right? So we don't need to worry about that. So the difference is now instead of a blue icon, instead of a pink, it's a blue one. So it's just a normal static mesh, and hopefully the materials will show. If they don't, I will show you another trick. Hey, there you go. All right, so we have our sword with the texture, okay? So some of you are wondering, how do we import animation to this? We're not gonna import because in Maya, this one, save, and then I'm gonna open up my scene again. In Maya, we're just gonna attach it to the control rig and animate. We don't attach it to the bones. Be careful, don't attach it to the bones because you're changing the hierarchy of the bones. So that's why we need the control rig to attach props like that to the simple props. Well, when I say simple, it means it's not animated. It's not on his back and he pulls it out like the ninja dude. So simple props like this, you can just attach it to the control rig, and then in Unreal, you just attach it to the bones themselves. It's not a big deal in the sequencer. In the sequencer, you just can attach whatever you want to whatever, anything. And you're not going to ruin the hierarchy. I'll just close Motion Builder because there was a mistake. It's probably going to take a while. Everything is in RAM. All right, so let's bake this animation to the night. Bake to, you can bake to control rig right away. This is still baking. So if I deactivate the time editor, okay, something not good. Why did it? Strange. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I need to bake to control rig first. Sorry, to skeleton. Let's try that. Oh. Let's try it again. is okay. I'll pause the video to find out. Okay, for some reason it wasn't allowing me to bake right to the character, to the knight character, so I'm gonna try this. Select both clips, right click, bake to scene. Let's try that. So now if we deactivate, no good. Alright, I'm gonna pause again. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, so I'm gonna try this. Select the root, select children, hierarchy, sorry, and then go bake, skeleton, options, keep everything by default, and change the, actually this might be the problem, from 0 to, let's say 330 or 340. That might have been the problem, actually I just realized. We could just do time slider too. $331. And then big. I think that was the issue. Apologize. So now we can bake to control rig. We can deactivate the time slider to make sure, time editor, sorry, to make sure everything's there. There we go. So now we can bring in the sword, right? I'll save this scene. Save it as 02, just in case something goes wrong. It's always a good idea to save increments. So now we can bring in our sword Maya file, not the FBX, Maya file. Should be a 00 right there. Textures, just want to make sure. Yeah, has the textures. So it's a little faster without the textures, so you can work with it like this. So the right-hand controller is a bit small, so what we can do, we could just maybe scale the radius, let's say 22, wow, 10, 8, 5. All right. And then we can move up the sword and just make it snug in his hand. All right. Actually, we need it in both hands. It's okay for now. Doesn't have to be perfect. So do a normal parent-child. It's okay. So normal parent-child link is you select the child first and then the parent, and you press P. So now if you move this, it should move the sword as well. Okay. So let's press play. There we go. So this is simple props, okay? We'll attach it once we're ready to do the Unreal part. I'm gonna probably start doing cameras now. Let's see if I missed anything. Yeah. So let's create a couple of cameras. Save. Rendering. Nope. Animation. Where was it? It was in rendering. Create camera. Nice, so tiny. So what were those settings last time? We were using 16. I believe 35 Academy. Let's double check. 35 millimeter. Okay, 35. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing we changed. So I think 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 maybe. Yeah, 3 cameras is enough. We're not going to go too crazy with the cameras, super simple, because we learned cameras last time. What I need you to do though, I'll do two views like last time. So this is my viewport perspective, right? And this will be my camera. Okay. And what did we use last time? We used resolution gate. This is the wrong resolution, so we're gonna just set it up super quick. Believe in rendering, render setup. Oops, not this one. Render settings. And just go down here and change this to, I believe, HD 1080. Close. Okay. 1920 by 1080. There we go. Maybe something. Yeah, that's it. That was it. Okay. So camera 1. Let's go camera 2 and camera 3. So maybe we can start panning down to see the night. Actually, we can set up can set him up as he's slashing. Could be a little bit on the side too. just to show. We'll add some stuff next week, some objects, because next week I'll show you guys how to do VFX as well. So it could be a little fun. So so let's say we pan down to this long shot. And then we start moving with him. I have the feeling this camera lens is a bit weird. Okay, let's keep going, otherwise we can change that. Okay, so we can start a small pan down to this. I'll put a key here and I'll go up and just do a little and we show the roof as we're going down. We see the building, and then we settle on Mr. Knight. Maybe as he starts slashing, we can change cameras to see a little bit of the action. So like I said before, don't worry too much about the knight, because he's going to be coming in from that corner, somewhere from that corner. All right. That's a little too close. As it's moving, maybe can move up, move out a little bit to show how. Right. Might as well add some frames here, we're gonna need it. And then what I was thinking, we can add a little portal hill forming VFX. And then that's where the ninja comes in. So what are we gonna do with the ninja? We're just gonna move his control rig, which has the keys, right, to start maybe around this frame. So let's say frame 340, or let's say 360, around 360. So we have the ninja and we have the sword, because remember we keyed this, the sword, the katana control rig, right? So this is what we need. We need so I have the katana, and then katana, this one. These are the shapes, and this is the this is the ninja. All right, So these two, because this is the root, these are the joints, right? Okay, that should be good. So if we go select hierarchy, the keys show up, right? The keys we set on the control rig. I saved the scene before. So now if we select all those keys and move them to 360, comes there. See, everything follows. All right. The thing is, we're gonna need to move him over there. So how we do this, the best way, so we don't mess up the controllers, is we can move it in Unreal actually. So we have the choice. If let me see if there's a way. I'm gonna try something. Okay, so I'm gonna try something. I'm not sure it's gonna work. I've never tried this in Maya. So if you look at the Ninja control rig, the reference, you know, the first node above the hip effector, we can actually move this, and surprisingly, it keeps the root on the spot. So I'm gonna try this and see if it changes actually the position. It doesn't cause a lot of problems. Okay. So that's right. Worst case, I'll just put it back to 0, 0, and we can move it in Unreal. So let's say the portal happens here. The portal shows up. We'll do the portal VFX next week. Then he walks in, and then maybe he's coming in too much of straight. So maybe we'll just rotate it a little bit so that he comes in facing the knight. Okay. Yeah, he's walking through the objects. Maybe we'll just push him a little bit. Okay, let's try that. So probably just need a new camera, the third one, focusing on him as he's coming in, right? So we'll switch to camera 3. It's not that shot. We don't need to show a knight at this point because we're gonna have to probably add more animations. So let's just stick to something simple. There we go. Maybe show a little bit of the environment if we can. I like that lamp. Maybe we can put that in the foreground. Yeah, it's not bad. Alright, so he comes in and he's ready to fight. So we can I think we can create a key anywhere. Remember, we need to create the keys for the UberCam, right? So now we can go camera sequencer. Create, I believe, let me see, create shot. So from 0 to 798. We don't need that much. Let's say 500 flush. Okay, so first shot is camera 1, and we want it to be from here, from 0 to, let's say, to 268. All right, we create another shot. So now we change the top number to 270. We assign it the camera 2. So let's say as he's settling, the effect starts happening. So we'll bring that here, and then we create another shot and link it to camera 3. And then we switch to the effect happening. That's not good. So he's still in the way. How come? Oh, that's why. So we need to bring this number to 330. Remember, the top numbers are what's the keys are on the time segment, right? So we don't need to go all the way here. We just cut to 269, right? Wait a minute. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. Oh, okay. Hold on. So now is this the camera? Hold on. Yeah, we need to squeeze that down to 270. Oh, we're scaling. See? I did that mistake. Hold on. What did I do? Hmm? So 0. I wasn't scaling. This one. Okay. Okay, so I probably moved this number. So yeah, the bottom number is bad. So we just need to move that number. Just squeeze it down to, what did we say? When it starts moving, so I think it was 270 was correct. Somewhere around here. So now we have 0 to 270, and it's 100% here. Then we bring in the second shot. $320 and 329, and then it's 330. The portal forms, he comes in, ready to fight. All right, that's it. Now we're ready for the Uber cam. We select those pieces, create Uber cam. Must have the same duration. Is it because we're overlapping? 270, 329. Is it complaining of that? I don't know. Let's try it. What is it complaining about? Okay. Does it have to be exact? Can be. Maybe because it's a little off. 329, but we can't update this. 333. That might be it. So is that it? No, still doesn't like it. Gonna pause. All right, so what turned out to be the problem is these numbers need to match. So if this one is a little bit bigger than this, or this and this, it doesn't let you create a Ubercam for some reason. So just make sure if you get errors here at the bottom, it cannot create an Ubercam, just make sure these numbers match. Create, select your shots, create Ubercam. And then if we want to test it, switch to Ubercam and just press play. Okay, save the scene. Actually, let's call this master cam. Now we're ready to export. Our master cam should be here, right? Or is it? Yeah, it's right here. Can close camera sequencer. Wow. Okay. Well, strange. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's any keys on it. Oh, that's why. Okay. Okay. We can export our cam, export selection. B Maya assets NMs. We can create a export. It's okay. We can put it in NMs. Doesn't matter. So week 7 week 7 camera animation bake 0 to 15. Now we can export the Ninja. Again, joints always. Unfortunately, we have to select it one by one. So Ninja, sorry, excuse me. Now what's left? Our knight. Knight. Export. Week 7 knight. So let's start from scratch. I'm gonna call this okay. So 2 characters. Prop we don't need because we're gonna attach it to his hand and the cameras, right? Okay. I'll save this level. Save current as levels week 7 all together. All together now. All right, week 7 all together. And I'll start dropping in the assets, which is, it's a little dark because we need to build the lights again. Okay, that's okay. We'll, we don't, I don't know why. It's probably still computing. Anyways, so let's add the 2 characters. Save all. So we have the knight. Can put him at 0, 0. We can create a scene. So I know a while ago I told you what's the difference. I didn't tell you. I'll tell you later. What the difference between master sequence and level sequence. So the difference is the master sequence is a compilation of level sequences. So it's like a parent will create you'll create a folder with 5 sequences or whatever you want, 3 level sequences in it. Okay, so if you go now create in this folder game cinematics sequences and you put 3, create master sequence. See what I will create. We'll go on sequences. See, it will create the sequence master with the 3 shots in the level sequences. These are the same level sequences as we were creating before. So imagine your Maya file. You want to split this scene into 3 shots per one Maya file per shot. You could do that like they do it in the movies. I didn't do it here because it's a very short 500 frame. But if you have longer than this and you have complex props or whatever, you can split up each shot into a separate Maya file and export separately and then build it like this in Unreal. Okay. So that's one way. But for now, I'm gonna just create a small one-level sequence and call it week 7 all together. I'm gonna add the night. I'm gonna add his animation too. There's only one for him. Oh, why did he start there? That's weird. So if you don't want to build the lights, just want to see the animation, you could just change from lit, which lit means it's using the lights, to unlit, just to it's strange that he ended up there. He should have ended up here. I'm not sure why. Okay. Oh, wait a second. We chose the wrong animation. That's fine. So, my mistake. I did not import the animations we just exported. So let's do that right now. I apologize. It's a late night. So let's do this. So assign it to night. Import. Bring in the other one, the ninja. Assign it to the ninja. And bring in the camera. Right. Actually, we don't need to bring in the camera. We'll do that in a bit. Because the camera, you just bring it in through the camera sequencer, right? Okay, so let's bring in the night animation, which is week 7 night, and voila. He's in the good place. Forgot. Oh, man. We didn't switch to 24. Alright, let's switch now. So switching to 24, we end up with not a good result. Let's, we should have, okay, hold on. Didn't mess up the whole scene. It looks okay. So let's re-export because I want you guys to start animating at 24 because of the motion blur. Okay. So export selection night. It's okay. It's making everything. Ninja dude export selection. Ninja. And the overcam. Let's delete this and re-import it. Actually, we need to re-import it. So just right click on it and go re-import. So we should see an update here. Frame count, frame number, number of keys should go down to 401. The frame rate, yes, it updates to 24. Re-import. Because we just overrode the same FBX, that's why we're able to re-import it. Okay, let's go back in here, add the animation, week 7, and just move it out to 0, 0. Strange. Okay. Put the ninja in, put them to 0, 0. Add it in the sequencer. And then add the animation. Week 7 ninja. Yeah, it worked. So there's something weird here. Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot the sword, the katana. Okay, let's go back. So it should be this one. Katana root, right? The 2 bones. Actually 3 bones. And export selection. Week 7 katana. Go back into content browser, names, bring that in. We choose katana. And let's add the katana in the scene. 0, 0. Add the track. And then add the animation. If we put the frame at 0, 0, it will import it at 0, 0, right? There we go. Nice. Okay. All right. 401, I believe. I think we could squeeze that here. Oh, we have. Now it's flush at 0, 0. All right. Save all. Now we can create our camera. Oops. Not this one. And we have probably 2 cameras from the previous scene, so we're just going to delete this one and rename this to master cam, right? I believe it's case sensitive, just make sure you import it as so. All right, so now we can import the cam. So that would be B Maya Unreal, sorry, Maya Anims Week 7 camera. Uncheck those two, just keep the first one, import. Fit to the, doesn't matter. I don't know why it complains about that. Okay. So let's change the camera to 16:9 film. And now we see what we see in Maya. Don't worry about him. Is it still trying to light? Yeah, it's a little dark. Anyways, you guys know how to rebuild. I'm not gonna, my video is running long already. So please build the lights. Don't wait for me to tell you to do this. The last thing I want to do is put the sword, show you how to attach it, and how to hide make him invisible with the sword, okay, with the katana. Okay, so let's add the sword super quick. So this is our sword. I want to, we should add it to the sequence as well. So now we need to attach it to his right hand, okay? So what do we do? First thing, we align it. Okay, we need to get out from the camera view to be able to align it properly to his hand. We go to the first frame. And then you see this little guy, snap, open editor service snapping options. So if we click on it, it's not down. Surface snapping. Then if you move the sword and just move it over to the knight, it will kind of start snapping to the mesh. Okay, so just snap it to his hand and then go in and rotate it and make it the same way you did in Maya. Okay. Oops. I think I just duplicated it by mistake. All right. What's going on here? I don't know how to rotate anymore. I think that's, no, that's not good. Just move it a little bit snug in his hand. Could be a little bit rotation. There we go. All right, so now we can attach it to the hand. How do we do this? We right click on the track. Forgot how to do this. I did this yesterday. It's right here. So you select the sword track, you click on track, attach to the knight, and you will get a list of bones. So you just need to type right hand, and you're attaching it right to the right hand bone. Oh boy, okay. We chose the wrong one. Or maybe we need to hold on. Maybe we need to attach it and then move it. It's possible. Yeah. Sorry. So attach it and then move it. I apologize. Forgot I did it the other way. So I'm going to remove the align, the snap, sorry, the snap to surface because I don't need it anymore. If you press F, right, you zoom to selected. By the way, if you press F11, you go on full screen mode. You can see a little bit better. F11 to go back. So now if we scrub, there we go. So, okay, so attach it to the right hand bone and then align it to his hand. All right, one last thing. So we want to hide the katana, excuse me, the katana and the till that shot happens after, right? So how do you do this? I believe it's in here, visible. Invisible, rendering something. It's in rendering for sure. Visible. Actor hidden in game. So what you need to do, so it's the katana and what's his name? Ninja. So you select the mesh, the katana, and then you go down to rendering and you just click on this little guy so we can keyframe. Okay, so now you have a visibility track in the sequence. Okay, let's do the same for Ninja in rendering and the details tab. Click on this. So by default it's on, the visibility is on. Okay, so we want to hide them all the way. Where was that shot? Up to possibly somewhere here, let's say 355. Okay, so now if you uncheck it, where's the ninja? It will create a key and after it will be invisible, but we want the opposite. Okay, so what do we want? We just want to reverse these keys. So you want to take this key and it's actually step mode. Okay, so you can't really what's it called, keyframe the visibility values. It's either on or off. Okay, so it's unfortunate, but that's what we have. Okay, so we need to do the same. I don't know if we can copy paste. Let's try that. Not perfect, but we can just move the key and then move it back. Oops. So now what do we have? He's invisible, and then VFX come in, and they both come in after the VFX is done. All right, that's it. So now you can render. You can render this out. Please use lit. I don't want to take more time. And build the list because it's gonna take like 10 minutes probably. So let's render this out, and I'll show you this little app called Handbrake, how to convert from AVI to MPEG, because that's what we need to work with from now on, because those files are going to get big. Okay, so render, AVI, no audio. Audio you can do it in Premiere, you don't need anything to do in you don't need to add audio in Unreal, because if you're doing some extra editing in Premiere, you might as well put the audio in Premiere. Alright, so 24, please use 24. I'll change my render folder to D as well, or B, I should say. And I'll put maybe here, create an Unreal, create a folder called renders. Okay, and then week 7 all together. Or actually, my name, I forgot your name. All right. So the app I'm talking about is called Handbrake. If you search for Handbrake, download, this is it. Just download the Windows 10 version, 64-bit probably is the most common. And open it up. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to drag and drop the AVI. You can use Premiere as well. You don't need to use this, but if you don't have Premiere on your at home, this is open source. This is free. Just wait for it to finish. Unreal renders captures. Let's see. It's actually rendered lit. Okay, let's see what it looks like. It's pretty dark. Yeah, I can't see much. Sorry, guys. So he pops in from nowhere. That's the idea. So now it's about 44 megs. It should be okay for Moodle, but let's start practicing how to convert. So you just drag and drop. It processes it. Save as, you can save it anywhere you want. You can save it in videos, whatever. Just choose MPEG and start encoding. So probably save it in here in your videos. You can change the output file if you want. Alright, so from 44 to 4 megs. So it's like 10% smaller. And it's the same quality. Alright, so that's what I need you to upload this week. That's it for today. See you in class.